Have you already filed your taxes but not yet received your refund?
And are struggling to reach someone at the IRS? You are not alone.
This could be a very frustrating tax filing season for all taxpayers and tax professionals.
Tax refunds was a disaster last year, and we now have a tax refund update for this year, and it looks like it will be just as bad as last year. So let's go over what the IRS is expecting for delays, why your refund will more than likely be delayed, and 7 things you should avoid to guarantee you get your tax refund as soon as possible. Oh, and thank you for liking this video in advance because it truly helps the channel and helps other taxpayers see this video. All right, let's get into the update. In a perfect world, you would file your return electronically and then get your tax refund in 21 days or less. But the world isn't perfect, and unfortunately, the IRS isn't either. So much so that the IRS has come on record and stated that you should not be expecting your tax refund by a certain date, especially if you are waiting on your tax refund to pay for bills, the increase in food prices, or heck, even a major purchase. Your tax refund that should have only taken up to 3 weeks can now take up to 6 months or longer to hit your bank account. And while we're at it, let's add insult to injury. Not being able to produce a tax transcript because of the delay has hurt some people's chances of getting approved for mortgages, loans, and even financial aid. But how did we get here? Here's what we know. The IRS has built up a substantial amount of unprocessed individual returns that have not been reviewed yet. And how did the IRS respond? By announcing a massive hiring spree for this tax season that should help with the delays. But there's a problem. Only 2,000 workers have been hired so far, and the IRS had hoped to hire nearly 10,000 workers. So we're 40% through with the year, but only 20% of expected workers have been hired. And as of March of this year, the IRS still has 7.2 million returns that have not been reviewed yet, which basically means we're But what if I told you that the shortage of IRS workers isn't even the biggest problem? The biggest reason there's a refund delay right now is because of returns filed via paper, and specifically how the IRS processes returns filed via paper. You won't believe this. The IRS must manually process each and every paper return. And last year, the IRS had over 17 million paper 1040s, over 4 million paper 1040Xs, and paper business returns by the tune of millions, which means that every digit and every letter on every single paper return had to be typed manually by an IRS employee. And in a world where we can use our iPhones to copy and paste text from photos, some believe the technology used by the IRS, or lack thereof, could be considered ancient. By the way, was your tax refund late or delayed last year? Let me know in the comments. I want to see the average time it took for everyone who watches this video to get their tax refund. Even if you don't file via paper, here are a few mistakes I want you to avoid to make sure you get your tax refund processed as quickly as possible. The first thing you want to avoid is errors on your return, because another reason your tax refund can be delayed is due to errors. Things like mathematical mistakes, forgetting to sign your return, or even include your social security number on the return can cause a delay. And when errors occur, your return must be reviewed manually. Also avoid your direct deposit accounts not matching up. When your bank account does not match the information you put on your return, your refund will be delayed. Common mistakes like the ownership of the bank account not matching the filing status on your return. And the biggest one is a mistake in your routing or accounting number. And if this is the case, one of 3 things can happen. If the mistake does not pass the IRS's validation, you will be mailed a paper check. If the mistake does pass the IRS's validation, but the bank rejects it, then you will get a paper check. But here's the worst outcome. If the bank accepts the error, you'll have to talk to your bank about getting your money back. Another thing that can cause your refund to be delayed is an amended return. Amended returns are typically processed as a paper return, even if you filed electronically. And because of this, they need to be reviewed manually, which lands them in the pile of unprocessed returns. And unfortunately, amending a return will more than likely result in a tax refund delay. Now, identity theft and fraud is another big reason tax refunds are being delayed. You see, the IRS has filters that can detect potentially fraudulent returns. And when the filter catches potential fraud, your tax refund will be delayed until you verify your information with the IRS, like current and previous returns, or even verifying your income from your W-2s. And the worst part about it is that this verification process can take up to a year to clean up. Okay, here's a big one I see often. Income discrepancies. Okay, if you didn't know, the IRS receives every W-2 and every 1099 that you receive. And when the information that you place on your return does not match up with the information the IRS already has, guess what happens? A tax refund delay. So just in case, make sure that all income you receive is reported, even if you don't get a form for it. Another thing that will get your tax refund delayed is incorrectly claiming dependents. It's quite common, right, that a young adult goes out and files his or her own return without checking with the parent to see if they were claimed. Or in some cases, two parents end up claiming the exact same child. When someone takes their own exemption while simultaneously being claimed by someone else, or when two people claim the same child as a dependent, the IRS puts a hold on refunds until that issue is cleared up. And then there's past due returns. When you fail to file previous returns, current tax refunds will be put on hold until you go back and file previous returns. Additionally, if taxes are owed, the IRS will use your current refund to pay for those back taxes. Look, I'm gonna put a few videos on the screen you should watch next. And if you haven't already, go ahead and like this video for me. It truly helps the channel and helps other people see this video. And subscribe to the channel for more information that helps you save on taxes and increase your wealth. I'm Karan from Life Accounting, and I'll see you in the next video.